President Bola Ahmed Tinubu leaves France to London. JAMB sets 140 points as cutoff mark for varsity admission. Wagner fighters seize all military facilities in southern city of Rostov under Russian. Today is 6th Zulhijjah 1444 after the Hijrah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is equivalent to 24th June 2023. I am Salam Tanud Aliman with the news info. President Bola Tinubu has yesterday described fuel subsidy as a scam and disincentive to growth, saying it rewarded smugglers and reduced the burden of the real cost of the commodity for some countries. Tinubu made the assertion during a meeting with members of the Nigerian community in France. He said he made a statement by his special advisor on special duties, communication and strategy, Dele Alake, yesterday. Addressing Nigerians in France, Tinubu explained that the special advisor on monetary policy, Wale Edun and Alake, had excluded fuel subsidy removal from his inaugural speech, but he felt it was expedient to stop the subsidy on the first day. This marked the first time the president will publicly comment on his May 29 inaugural speech, in which he declared that fuel subsidy is gone. The comments sparked a near-instant hike in prices and hoarding, leading to calls for protest by the Nigerian Labour Congress. This is despite former President Muhammadu Buhari's early moves to end the payment of fuel subsidy by June. The president promised to reposition the education and health sectors, adding that ongoing reforms on the economy will be sustained and expanded with a view to revealing families struggling with the burden of poverty and insecurity. The president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was initially scheduled to be back in Abuja today, he has proceeded to London, United Kingdom, for a short private visit. His special advisor on special duties, communication and strategy, Dele Alake, announced this in a statement issued today morning. He said the president will be back in the country in time for the upcoming Eid al-Kabir festival. Alake said President Bola Tinubu had yesterday concluded his official trip to Paris, France, during which he had an outstanding participation in the summit for a new global financing pact hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron. He said aside his participation at the event where he represented Nigeria well, President Tinubu also held high-profile sideline meetings with fellow head of state and government, global business leaders, and chief executive of leading multilateral and development finance institutions from around the world. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has spoken about the suspension of Godwin Emefiele, embattled governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. It will be recalled that on 9th June 2023, Tinubu suspended Emefiele and ordered investigation into some allegations leveled against him. He was subsequently arrested in Lagos and flown to Abuja by the Department of State Service, DSS, where he is being interrogated. Speaking during an interactive session with Nigerians residing in France, the president said the financial system was rotten under Emefiele. He said many of those living outside the country will not send money to their parent and relative due to the multiple exchange rates. Federal government said that 125 stranded Nigerians have departed Sudan to Nigeria today. Head of Media, Public Relations and Protocol Nigerian Diaspora Commission Abdul Rahman Balogun disclosed this today. He said the estimated time of arrival of Port Sudan to Juba is 2 hours 50 minutes. He said the aircraft will stop over for 1 hour at Juba before continuing the journey to Abuja. It will take the plane from Juba to Abuja, totaling 7 hours 30 minutes in all. The Acting Inspector General of Police, IGP Olukayode Egbetokun said the Nigerian police force will establish a quick intervention squad to tackle the menace of crimes and criminality. Mr. Egbetokun said this yesterday in Abuja during his inaugural conference with strategic police managers consisting of officers from the rank of commissioners of police and above. Egbetokun said his administration will embrace innovation and technology as powerful allies in the fight against crime. According to him, the world is evolving at an unprecedented pace, and so the Nigerian police should adapt to the evolving landscape of crime. He said criminals were presently more sophisticated, more organized, and more ruthless than ever before. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAMB) has set the cutoff mark for 2022-2023 admissions into the universities across the country at 140 and above. This was disclosed today by the Registrar of the Board, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, during a presentation at the 2023 policy meeting on admission to tertiary institutions and awards held in Abuja. Oloyede also noted that the board had approved a score of 100 as the cutoff mark for polytechnics and college of education. However, the JAMB registrar said universities are at liberty to decide individual cutoff marks, but no university will be allowed to admit any candidate who scores below the 140 benchmarks. Also at the policy meeting, the federal government charged JAMB to maintain the sanctity of its examination at all times. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, David Adejo, said that a compromised examination system will impact negatively on the nation's workforce. The news is coming to you from the studios of Saba Radio. More is after the short break. Stay tuned.
This is News on the Hour, Saba Radio FM. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're listening to the services of Saba Radio 104.9 Hadija. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Jigawa State Command, has decorated 40 officers who were recently promoted to various ranks in the 2022 Senior Officers Promotion Exercise. A statement by Public Relations Officer Adamu Shehu said the decoration exercise took place yesterday at the command headquarters with the command principal officer in attendance. He said those decorated with the new rank include 2 assistant commandants to deputy commandants, 6 deputy superintendents of corps to superintendents of corps, 3 assistant superintendents of corps, 1 to deputy superintendent of corps, 11 assistant superintendents of corps to assistant superintendent of corps, 1 and 18 inspector of corps to assistant superintendent of corps. While congratulating the newly decorated officers, the state commandant Musa Mala charged them to double their effort towards discharging their duties to reciprocate the gesture. He also commended the Commandant General of the Corps, Ahmed Abubakar Audi, for his commitment and determination to improve personnel welfare as part of his mission towards a better service that will stand the test of time. Kano State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) said it arrested 1,064 suspects and seized 7.5 tons of illicit drugs between June 2022 and June 2023 in the state. This is contained in a statement issued by the NDLEA acting spokesman Sadiq Megatari to mark United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Drug Trafficking in Kano State. According to him, drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking are global issues that threaten the health and well-being of individuals and the society as a whole. He said the suspect arrested comprises 1,001 males and 63 females. He added that during the period under review, the command secured 111 convictions, while 126 cases are still pending in the courts. The Kano State Fire Service has called for caution on the use of firewood during the Sallah Festival celebration. Fire Service Chief Hassan Ahmed Muhammad disclosed this in an interview today in Kano. Mr. Ahmed Muhammad explained that the fire service will make efforts to ensure safety of people during the Eid al-Kabir in the state. The director also called on motorists to obey traffic law to avoid road accidents and other incidents during and after Salah. He said the general public can contact the fire service in case of any incident. Mr. Ahmad Muhammad wishes the general public a successful Eid al-Kabir celebration. 10 members of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) in Bauchi State will have their service year extended for at least 3 weeks or 1 month for various misconduct during their service year. This was disclosed today by Ms. Rafkatu Yakubu, the Bauchi State coordinator of NYSC. She explained that the misconduct included as abscondment and absenteeism during their service year, reiterating that the scheme had zero tolerance for truancy and will not hesitate to punish any erring corps member. No fewer than 401 corps members of the 22 batch B Stream 2 passed out in the state, and these include 269 male and 132 female. 4 of the corps members received merit award from the Bauchi State government. According to her, the corps members received the award for impacting positively on the lives of members of their host communities during meaningful community development projects and services executed during their service year. She also said that the corps members had written their names in the good book of NYSC, urging them to keep the spirit alive even after their service year. Now to international scene. United Nations says around 40 people are missing after a migrant boat capsized off the Italian island of Lampedusa. The shipwreck took place on Thursday, and at least 1 newborn baby is among those missing, said the UNHCR representative to Italy, Chiara Cardioliti. The vessel left from Sfax in Tunisia and was carrying 46 migrants from Cameroon, Burkina Faso, and Ivory Coast, said Flavio De Giacomo, a spokesman for the UN Migration Agency. He explained this was due to people from sub-Saharan Africa fleeing discrimination in Tunisia. The southern Italian island of Lampedusa is one of the main entry points for migrants crossing the Mediterranean. Last year, more than 46,000 people arrived here out of a total of 105,000 in Italy. That has been the news. Before I go, a recap of the major stories. From the news world ahead, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu leaves France to London. JAMB set 140 as cutoff mark for varsity admission. On the international scene, around 40 people were missing after a migrant boat capsized. That has been the news on behalf of the news department. I'll continue to announce Zalihat Ahmed. I am Salamatun Aliman saying good night.